Hey people, Pinnacle here. I think there's a lot of confusion at the moment over how to obtain a motorcycle license. And not only how to obtain a motorcycle license, which different licenses are available, and what can you ride by obtaining those licenses. But the even more confusing part is for younger riders. What can you ride with what license type at what age? There's a lot of risk with riding a motorcycle, and they want to ensure that the riders are mature enough and have had enough exposure on the lower cc engine of motorbikes before they get onto the bigger cc engines. So the easiest way for us to review this is exactly how the DVLA in the UK have reviewed it, and that is looking at the different ages. Now, the different ages will then represent the licenses that you can acquire. The licenses like the AM license, the A1 license, the A2 license, and then the A license for when you're 21 or older, and the A license for when you're 24 or older. So let's start right at the beginning with the AM type license that you can obtain from a minimum age of 16 or older. So first of all, minimum age here is 16 years old. Then, taking into consideration what license type you have, whether it's a provisional or a full car license. Now, if you have a full car license and you got that before the 1st of February 2001, which will mean now you're at least 40 years old, you can then ride a 50cc, which is a 4 kilowatt or below engine size, without L plates, and you can carry pillion passengers. If you obtained your full license after the 1st of February 2001, before you can ride a 50cc, less than 4 kilowatt, carry passengers, and don't have to have L plates, you need to do your CBT. The CBT is compulsory basic training. Now, a lot of people are saying that CBT is not really a license, and you can't really foul a CBT because all it is it's compulsory basic training. However, if you mess up a lot in your CBT, which is an 8-hour session with a registered qualified company, they can refuse to give you the CBT. And then you have to retake your CBT again to actually obtain the certificate that comes at the end of the training session. So once you've obtained your CBT, you will then be able to ride the same 50cc below 4 kilowatt engine moped or motorbike, and you'll be permitted to carry pillions, and you won't have to use L plates. And the last option here is if you're over 16 but you only have a valid provisional driving license. First of all, you need to get your CBT, and once you've passed your CBT, you can ride the 50cc or below moped. You cannot carry pillions, and you must have L plates. Now, if you wish to progress further with this license, you can take a theory test. And if you pass your theory test, you can then take what's called Mod 1 and Mod 2. And on completion of Mod 2, Mod 1 must come first, and if you complete Mod 2 within 6 months of passing Mod 1, you are then permitted to ride that same bike without L plates, and you can carry pillion passengers. So that's the AM license, and it's all you're permitted to get at the age of 16. So let's now look at the A1 license. You have to be at least 17 years old, and you have to have a license. Whether it's a provisional or a full, it doesn't matter about the 1st of February 2001 anymore. That's only for the AM. This A1 license, 17 years old, and hold a provisional or a full car license. The most important thing here is, again, have you got a CBT? Have you got your CBT certificate? If the answer is no, you can't ride anything. Go back to over 16s and look at that criteria. If you have got a CBT, you can now ride up to an A1, still with L plates, and you cannot carry passengers. Now, CBTs are only valid for 2 years and then you need to retake them. So as long as your CBT is still valid, you can ride up to a 125cc bike. You cannot carry passengers and you must put L plates on. What you can do next is you can do your theory test. Now, this is a theory test that is taken in separation from any other test that you're doing. And you have to literally go to a location of your choice. There's various locations DVLA offer. You go to the location, you sit through an exam on the highway code, motorcycle related questions. And if you pass that, you can then take the same 2-part test that we described before, the Mod 1 and the Mod 2. Once you pass that, you are then permitted to ride a 125cc bike, not exceeding 11 kilowatts, but you can ride that without L plates and you can carry a pillion passenger. So the theory test makes all the difference here. So it's important to know at 17 years old, you will not be able to ride anything bigger than a 125cc motorbike. So that moves us on to the A2 license. Now you have to be at least 19 years or older to obtain an A2 license. Now, this is where the idea of progression and experience comes into play, and you start seeing this more now on the A2 license. So if you're 19 and you've held your A1 license, which allows you to ride up to 125cc, for more than 2 years, you can go straight on and you can take part in a practical test, which is the 2-part practical test on at least a 245cc and the engine between 20 and 35 kilowatts. Now, this is a 2-part and you must pass the second module within 6 months of passing the first module. Once you've done that, you can ride any motorcycle, but it can't be exceeding 35 kilowatts. So that limits you to the 500s or the restricted 650s, but not the 600 Super Sports or the triples or anything like that. Make sure you don't exceed the 35 kilowatts. Now, if you're 19 and over, but have only held your A1 license for less than 2 years, it comes into play, do you have a valid theory certificate? Did you pass your theory test? If the answer is yes, again, you can do the 2-part test, and if you pass the second part within 6 months of the first part, you're then able to ride any motorcycle not exceeding 35 kilowatts. So again, it's the 550s or the limited 650s, etc. Now, the last part of this is if you don't have an A1 license, but you are 19 years old, you have to have a CBT first of all, and you have to have your theory test. So you have to do the CBT and the theory test. Then you need to pass the 2-part practical test between a 20 and a 35 kilowatt machine. Once you've done that, you can then ride any motorcycle not exceeding 35 kilowatts again. Now, this is all you can do at the age of 19. You cannot ride anything bigger than 35 kilowatts, and this is the only license you can obtain at that age. So this brings us on to our A license. Now, you have to be at least 21 for the A license. 21 to 23 is the age this covers. First of all, have you had your A2 license for more than 2 years? If you say yes, and you have, then you still need to do your Part 1 and Part 2, which is referred to, I haven't explained this, but it's referred to as Mod 1 and Mod 2. You have to take that on at least 595cc, which is less than 50 kilowatts. Once you've done that, and again, if you pass the Mod 2 within 6 months of the Mod 1, you can now ride any motorcycle. Wow! If you haven't held your A2 license for more than 2 years, then you can only ride your A2 qualified bikes. So your 650 Ninja, your R7 Yamaha, or your 500cc engines. You cannot ride any more than that until you have held your A2 license for more than 2 years, and then you've retaken your Mod 1 and 2 on your 595cc bike. The last thing is, or you need to wait till 24, but we'll come to that on the next one. The last one is, if you don't have a full A2 license at all, you can't ride a category A motorcycle. You need to go back and you need to do your A license, and you have to wait until you've got your A license for 2 years, or you wait until you're 24, which we'll then cover now. We then revisit the A license again. Now, the A license is a full motorbike license, permitting you to ride any motorcycle whatsoever. But this time we're looking at doing this if we're over 24 years old. So first of all, let's look at the best case scenario. We have held an A2 license for more than 2 years. That's great. That means we need to do our Mod 1 and Mod 2 tests on a 595cc bike. Once we've done that, and once we've passed the Mod 2 within 6 months of the Mod 1, we can ride any motorcycle of our choice.
Fast as fuck, boy.
If we haven't held an A2 license for more than 2 years, but we do have a theory test, we can then move on to do the Mod 1 and Mod 2. And again, if we pass the Mod 2 within 6 months of the Mod 1, we can ride any motorcycle of our choice. If we have a full A1 license, but we haven't got a theory test, we need to do the theory test first, then the Mod 1, Mod 2, then we can ride any motorcycle of our choice. If we do not have a full A1 or A2 license and we're over 24 years old, do we have a CBT? If we don't, we have to do the CBT first. If we do have a CBT, have we done the theory test? Have we passed it? If not, do the theory test. Once you've got the CBT, once you've passed the theory test, you then have to do your Mod 1 and your Mod 2 on a 595cc. And once you pass that, you can ride any motorcycle of your choice.
Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick.
Now, one other thing to mention here is that Mod 1 and Mod 2 can be taken separately, or they can be taken combined, and it's called a DAS. If you take the DAS, that's the Mod 1, swiftly followed by the Mod 2, and you're literally doing it with the same instructor on the same week. If this has helped you, or you even enjoyed watching it, learning a little bit more, or even if you knew the stuff already but you just watched it anyway, I really appreciate that. Please give me a like if you liked it. Give me a dislike if you didn't. Leave a comment and tell me why you didn't like it or why you liked it. It all helps me grow the channel. And if you want to see more content, please subscribe, and I will make sure I'll be delivering videos on a frequent basis.